I find it kind of funny that this son of man guy, otherwise known as a Marvin Mohammed, has resorted to deleting his YouTube channel and blaming it on critics after being caught abusing a child not only in front of a live internet audience, but a live actual audience of people as well. Kazum Fowler, who I found out about this guy through, mirrored a video of this guy whose channel was known as the New Nation of Islam, going up on his broadcast and at about 2 hours in, beating a child off camera with a shoe because that child started crying during his Google Hangout sermon. I was highly offended at this, as was pretty much everyone who saw it, so I decided to mirror the video myself and do a subsequent response video to the overall content of that video. Now, shockingly, the guy actually took the time to watch my response video and do one of his own during his Google Hangout sermon. And it was through his response to my video on him that I got the inspiration to do some digging around in his background, and I discovered some interesting things. The guy goes by Marvin Mohammed, and since 1975 he's apparently been running a congregation in Mississippi called the New Nation of Islam. It's vaguely based on the Nation of Islam, something Louis Farrakhan, a firebrand quasi-religious maniac, was famous for preaching as well. In fact, they stole the doctrine completely. Completely. Now you would think, why are you bashing the Islamic religion? Well, the thing about the New Nation of Islam, or the Nation of Islam, is that neither one of these belief systems have anything to do with the Islamic religion. What they are is a quasi-religious, political and racial scheme. In fact, they're the anti-white racist equivalent to the Jonestown idea. So I'm going to read to you some bullet points from this guy's official website here, at random, because there are just far too many for me to want to go one right after the other and waste 2 hours of your time, and my time as well. I'm just going to go right to the more important ones. And you will see very clearly that this guy isn't about religion. He's not about having all of the answers. In fact, all of his answers just add more problems to the equation. And you will see what he's all about. So we're going to start with number 4. This is from his official website, thenewnationofislam.com/muslimprogram.html. I'll link it below. Number 4. We want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves to be allowed to establish a separate nation or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land, and the area must be fertile and minerally rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years, until we were able to produce and supply our own needs. Since we cannot get along with them in peace and equality, after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced, we believe that our contributions to this land and the suffering forced upon us by white America justifies our demand for a complete separation in a state or territory of our own. So what about that has anything to do with religion? Because to me that sounds like somebody's a little mad about not understanding that history, big leaps in history, have happened in the last 400 years. I don't know if it's ever occurred to you, Marvin Mohammed, but the slave trade in this country is over. Now, unfortunately, we do have human trafficking, which is a big problem, but that's not what you're talking about. You're not talking about a real issue. You still seem to think that there are black people in this country being forced to work on fucking plantations the same as they were in the 1800s. You seem to not realize that the slave trade ended, and the huge race riots of the 60s and mid-70s, especially down here in the south of this country, have ended for the most part. You yourself did an interview, and you say this proudly on your homepage, newnationofislam.com, that you did an interview with the leader of the KKK. So obviously you're aware that there are still racial tensions in this country, but I fail to see how acting the way they do will solve that problem. Because what you're asking is you're asking white people to supply you with 25 years worth of finances to set up a Jonestown, basically, which is such a financial undertaking that you could never convince anyone to actually do it. Not only that, but your next bullet point, number 5, is ridiculous. to think that doing what number 5 contains could ever work. Number 5, we want freedom for all believers of Islam, now held in federal prisons. We want freedom for all black men and women, now under death sentences in innumerable prisons in the North as well as the South. We want every black man and woman to have the freedom to accept or reject being separated from the slave master's children and establish a land of their own. We know that the above plan for the solution of black and white conflict is the best and the only answer to the problem between the two people. Really? So you think that releasing murderers from their death row sentences from prison is a good idea because they're not all that bad of people, even though they were murderers because they were Islamic followers, that they were Muslims? Are you insane? Are you fucking crazy? So you have a fucking society comprised of 50% normal people, for example, and then 50% recently released murderers. Which of those two fucking groups of people do you think will kill the shit out of the other? Your society would fail overnight. You can't just take hardened criminals on fucking death sentences and expect them to behave because they're in prison for not being able to behave, you fucking idiot. You know, not only do those ideas make no fucking sense, but the one that just really, I mean, because it's a quasi-religion, you gotta have this one, number 8. We want the government of the United States to exempt our people from all taxation as long as we are deprived of equal justice under the laws of the land. What does that even fucking mean? So, as long as you treat our people like shit, something you're apparently trying to get away from at the same time, you don't deserve to pay taxes. How in the fuck do you think your society, idiot, would even work? It couldn't fucking function. You couldn't even get funding for it without taxation, you stupid idiot. What do you think, that the government of this country would actually just say, well, here's your little fucking Jonestownian bullshit, because, and I'll explain why I'm making the connection right there in a moment, but here's your little Jonestown, and we're just going to fucking find some sort of disposable income, even though we're facing a debt ceiling that's getting closer and closer every day, and just throw money at you because we treated you poorly 400 fucking years ago. And we've done what we can to make up for it since, but we're going to forget about that. Do you understand how stupid that is? Do any of you idiots who follow this dumbass motherfucker realize how stupid and improbable it would ever be for this to actually fucking work? Of course you don't, because that's why you follow him. The reason this guy has any followers at all is because they're incredibly stupid, simple-minded morons who need to fucking listen to something, because they have nothing left in their own empty lives. This kind of shit has been around for decades, and it's accomplished fundamentally nothing. The whole gist of it is that white people are the devil, and that these people are extremely racist towards whites because they can't fucking realize what kind of a world that they're living in right now. You could actually get the equality you strive for by opening your eyes and realizing you're not living during the days of the slave fucking trade. You're not. You can't just sit there and lump all of your problems on white people when it's a lot of problems that happen within urban culture that cause a lot of strife in this world, especially in this fucking country, okay? It's not white people's fault that people decide to join fucking gangs. It's the fact that they live in a very low-income, poverty-stricken environment and there's nothing else for them. I mean, what do you think? We're going to just fly fucking planes over and dump money on these places and say that'll fix all the problems? We offer solutions. This country offers solutions, and you don't fucking take them. And people like you, like Jesse Jackson and this Al Sharpton dick, they fucking sit there and bloviate about this crap all the damn time. They sit there and go on and on and on about it, and I'm like, what fucking solutions are you fucking providing? What fucking solutions are you coming up with? You're not. You're just sitting there fucking yammering off about it over and over and over again, and I'm supposed to fucking sit here and see that you're doing something really all that fucking great when in reality you're not? I mean, the thing that really took me aback about his fucking response to my video response is he had the balls to compare me to the guy who shot Martin Luther King. And I'm like, really? That's fucking amazing. That happened like a full 20-something years before I was even born. So I'm glad that somehow or another my response video was that bad, that it just went back in time before I was even conceived, you know. and made me that evil. I was tainted with that fucking evil. When in fact, it's been found out that it was black people, a certain convocation of fucking assholes who believed the way you did, who fucking had Martin Luther King whacked. In fact, it was people that were part of the fucking moronic New Nation of Islam, which isn't related to Islam whatsoever, who had Malcolm X killed. And you sit there and bitch about how it was a tragedy that somebody like Malcolm X was killed. It was your fucking shitty cult-like fucking quasi-religion that had him fucking greased in the first place. Why is it that people like you want equality in this world when clearly that's not what you want? You say you want equality, but what you really want is the ability to do whatever the fuck you want because you're a pseudo anarchist. That's what you are. Now, I just felt like bringing this up because the guy apparently has no problem face-to-face talking with people about, you know, what it is that he believes, and he's willing to defend his beliefs. But the funny thing is, I called into his show 3 times. All 3 times I was hung up on. He deletes his YouTube channel. And now he's on a new YouTube channel. Let me see if I can find it here. Actually, you know what? I will link it below after the video because I just don't want to waste any damn time because I got more than enough shit I need to get done today besides this video. But he's on another YouTube channel, which you can find the link to below. And it's funny that you have to hide on somebody else's channel because you got caught beating a child, and now you've been exposed as a quasi-religious charlatan who is not preaching the Islamic religion, not preaching what Muslims believe, but just taking advantage of the fact that they believe in something in order to push a fucking political scheme. What you really want is you want to start a separate territory from the United States where it's not subject to U.S. taxation or U.S. law. That is exactly what Jim Jones did. He used religion as an auspices to control the minds of feeble fucking simple-minded dumbasses into going along with this fucking idea that an idealized utopia could happen as long as you didn't fucking pay taxes, everything was fucking free, and you know what happened? Eventually they had to drink the Kool-Aid because they knew that not only were they legally fucked, but it's unsustainable. The world we live in might suck ass, but the thing that truly sucks the most about it is that it's functioning because it sucks so much. That this is one of the few ways we've managed to make civilization work. And I'd rather take what we have now than what you're suggesting, because it's insustainable. You have to have some sort of fucking stupid fly flying in front of your face to interrupt your vlogs. I'm kidding, you don't need that. But you have to have some sort of taxation. You do. How else are you going to supplement the things in your fucking separate territories economy? How the fuck else is it going to pay for roads or schools or hospitals or anything like that? What, are you going to fucking ask the U.S. government, who after a while wouldn't want anything to do with you, for more money? No. Because they wouldn't want to fucking help you. I mean, you sit there, all them white people fucking hurt. Shut the fuck up. Now this is the part of the video where I get pretty real. You know what you are? You're a stupid old fucking Uncle Tom who refuses to live in reality. And you've got a bunch of other people who are just about as fucking ridiculous, who want to blame all their problems off on the white people rather than take 2 seconds to fucking have some introspection and realize that maybe they're the cause of all their own issues. And maybe they wasted a huge bunch of time listening to some crusty old black fuck who likes to beat the shit out of children and probably does God knows what else to kids that I don't even want to mention here. But thankfully, you're so brave in posting what it is that you want from the U.S. government, which is essentially another Jonestown, and what you're essentially running as a cult, that I'm going to take the liberty and submit this to the authorities as well and see what they think about it. You think you're all tough and hot shit? No. What you are is an old fuck who's completely failed at life, and his only claim to anything is being able to take advantage of simpletons. So anyway, go fuck yourself. Thank you for allowing me to expose you for the worthless piece of fucking shit, child abuser, manipulative, charlatan asshole that you really are. Anyway, I'm some guy on the internet. Thank you for the free promotion, Marvin Mohammed. And see you on the flip side, motherfucker. Anyway, until next time, take it easy.